All right. Then we have like basically until the 12th. So 12th of November, we have around like 3 to 4 weeks practice time, and we have now 2 sessions a day, right? As 2 sessions a week. That's like how we what we discussed a little bit in this area, right? So
Yeah.
we have basically like also around like eight sessions to get you up to speed. Basically, our goal is right now, right? At the 12, we want to be at our best level, like our best performance that we can do. So this is also normally like the time that we have in contenders. Like in contenders, we have always 1 month time to prepare for a tournament. So also like 4 weeks. And what I would like to do is that instead of us just playing scrims, right, and just practicing the comms and keep doing this, I would like to structure it a little bit more so that we have like that all of us have a easier time improving together as a team, right? Because if we just now play and play and play, of course, yes, we will get better at the composition, but I think we can do this more effective. And the only difference between us and the enemy team is that, like for now, is that whoever practice more efficient, right, is better on this state. So I think it's really important that we don't just like run around and do our things, that we have a little bit more structure and have it a little bit as a goal. Does it make sense?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, great. So normally, like I can give some example how we do it, and then we can discuss if this also works for us or if we want to do it differently, and so on. So like in the contenders tournament, again, like we have this 4 weeks to practice, and normally what we always start with were some like some experience, some getting some informations. Obviously, normally there comes a patch here or some event that we think about. Okay, what can we play this week? Like what compositions are we running? What kind of general strategy do we want to play? And we basically like test a lot of things. We test on different maps. We test on different like tempos also, and so on. So experimenting, thinking about kind of the strategy, and so on. That's basically like general stuff. And also, if we noticed that from last week's we have to have some struggles, then maybe we can also work on like some fundamental problems, for example, like the communication or other things that are not really working out. Why do we do this at the start, and why do we not do this in the end? Because if we do it like if we work on these things at the start of this month, we have still like 2-3 weeks time to kind of get this in our minds, like get this in our mind straight. And obviously, if we, for example, struggle with communication, then the execution of a composition, doesn't matter what we choose, will not be as good anyways, right? So I think it's always great to combine some experiments, some strategy experiments, like gameplay experiments, with some fundamental practices, because it doesn't really matter what combo you play. If you play Pharaoh or Echo or whatever, or what map you play, you can always work on some more general things. Does it make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. And then on the second week, or like, I mean, obviously it doesn't have to be like super like strict, like, oh look, like here's an error, like it doesn't have to be like, oh yeah, week 1 we only do this, week 2 we only do this. Of course, that's a little bit fluent. So depending on if we feel like we are done with this, then we are done and we already move on. Basically, like week 2 is mostly about like, okay, like the final things about like, okay, like what comps do we want to run? Do we want to run like, more monkey based things? Do we want to run more Reinhardt based things? It will not be completely like 2D, not the exact composition will be done, but we are going more into details. And then we also think about, okay, like obviously, like on what map do we want to play what, right? On, I don't know, Dorado, we maybe want to run Double Bubble, and on Lijiang Control Center, maybe we want to run a Brawl version or whatever. So that's kind of the second thing. And and we obviously started working on this composition at whole, like, right, that we are on the right tempo, that we do the same things when we're playing this, and so on. And then the third week is the third week is obviously continuing this, and we think about the specific, not the specific heroes. We're thinking about the details of this composition, like details. For example, do we want to be aggressive? What is like ult combos? Do we want to, I don't know, do it differently here, do it differently there? Like it gets more specific. And then at the end, we basically talk about specific like rollouts, the heroes, counter picks. And if we can do this, I mean, I don't know if it's possible for your tournament, but also some scouting for the teams that we play against. Obviously, we are fortunate in the Contenders that we know which teams we're playing against, and we can actively like scout what they are doing and how we can, interact with them. Don't know if this is really possible for us, so maybe this is falling flat. But generally speaking, what we then talk about is, like the heroes, like do we play Echo, do we play Pharah, when do we play what, and rollouts. For example, in the last week of our tournament, before the tournament started, we generally speaking against British Hurricane, we played against them regularly, and we always made rollout practices. So basically we played, for example, Li Zhang or any other King of the Hill map, and we are doing the first fight multiple times, right? That we, like, you just, like, both teams run it against each other, and the moment one team kind of captures a point or the fight is over, we just reset the map, and we do this 5 times. And with this, you can just practice your rollouts, and especially this really, really important first fight on the King of the Hill map. I guess we all know that the first fight is super important, right? We can practice this, and we can maybe also make some minor changes. Do we want to go this way? Do we want to go this way? Do we split up here? I don't know, like things like this, so that we are prepared for the first map. Maybe a quick question, or like any questions about this?
I don't have any question, but I'm not sure if this I like this way and this style of coaching, but I'm not sure that's what's gonna work with us.
Yeah.
And that's not how we wanna improve.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
our play style is a bit differently. We're not really organized, and we tried to be, and we tried to start giving some calls, rollouts, and stuff, but it didn't work with us. So we just trust each other, like in his solo game, and we trust in everyone individually. So like when it comes to the communication, we barely do alt tracking. We like we don't usually give that huge fight plan. Like everyone knows what to do. Like sometimes we just give the target focus and the kill box and the ults we want to use, and we say what else they have if it's important, like grab or barrage or something, like nano barrage and stuff. We call that usually. And for our composition and map, we just pick whatever we want, since we know what the enemy teams like to play. Like we in the Saudi League, we know all the teams there, so we know already what they play. Like in this map, they're gonna force double hit scan. In this map, they're gonna force 6-man die with Pharah. On the other map, they're gonna play meta. Like we already know, so we just pick whatever like we want to play and whatever we think it's good. So yep, and what else? Yeah,
But
that's all.
okay, but don't you think that if you, let's say, practice something, for example, you said the communication, that you not really ult track all the time, or that you not always have a plan. Don't you think the fights where you do not have a plan, you are struggling more than before?
I mean, sure, but like we're not really going hard when it comes to communication, like ultra-hacking and fight planning and all these things. We just keep it simple. Like we just say what it's important.
Yeah.
Like our play style is like playing ranked on 4.5 lobby. We just fully try hard. We just like try to we just try to play with our duo. Like both tanks, they always keep communicating. They keep rotating and stuff. And the Ash always with Sigma, and they always do flanks and go in and go back and stuff like that.
Okay, but what do you like? But sure. I mean, I'm not like we can still keep it simple, right? But I think it's one thing is definitely that it keeps happening consistently. I think if having a consistent fight plan is definitely better than just having no fight plan. It doesn't have to be like super complicated. The same thing with ult tracking. I think it's still better to have like a consistent ult tracking that every fight we know what ults they have. I mean, if you don't want to talk about all 6 ults or like, you know, they're not, but obviously the more information you have, the better you can prepare yourself. So the thing is like what I'm, you know, if you're saying like this, then like what are you even like practicing? You know, like why do you play in scrims instead of just playing ranked and then playing the tournament together? Like obviously, yeah, you can always improve your synergy and so on, but I think one huge part of a team is also like this team aspect, right? That we are playing like together. And if you say that everybody just does his own thing, then yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it cannot work. Of course, it can work, right? But I think it's it can be more effective this way. Don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. But I just wanted to let you know that we just keep it simple.
Yeah.
We still do it, but we just keep it as simple as we can, so everyone can focus on his gameplay.
Yeah. Okay. I get this. All right. Okay. Obviously, as you already said, right, we don't have to do it exactly like this. This is just like one example. And I mean, it will not even work with you guys. Like you already said this. But I would like that we have a little bit of an idea of what we want to do. It doesn't have to be like written down like this, or it doesn't have to be like super consistent plan. But definitely what I think is important, what we can see also here, the more we go to the tournament, the more specific it gets, right? Here it's really specific, like we're talking about specific rollouts, like the exact hero picks and so on. And here will be a little more general. And this, I think, definitely makes sense that at the start you work on more like fundamental things and that later on you go more on specifics. So I don't think talking about, for example, right now, that if we go into Route 66, that we, I don't know, spend half an hour talking about what the best rollout is. I don't think this makes sense, because then most of the time it will, I guess, change a little bit anyways, depending on what the team you guys are playing against. And I don't know, do you remember like 4 weeks, like in 4 weeks, will you still remember the exact kind of rollout or the exact thing that we talked about? Don't think so, right? So maybe it would be better that at the start now we find some more like general problems that we can maybe address. For example, you mentioned, right, like the ult tracking is not consistent, that we not always know what ults they have, which is just information. Like we don't always have to use all of this, but I mean, it is always better to know if they have flux or if they have rally or so, or if they have trance, right? Because then we can play around this. So I think these are some things which is not easy. Like it doesn't work from the first second on, but I think it will take time. And I think this is something we can maybe like start having a little bit of a general goal towards this the scrims. Right? Like the thing is, what I just don't want is that, you know, like we say, like obviously we say you have like this one scrim here, and we just go in with the goal to play. Like if we just go in and play, then how do we know that we like that this was helpful? How do we know that we actually improved as a team or as in with us? Right? So that's why I want to structure it at least a little bit to always have a goal in our heads when we play. And I don't care if this goal is, you know, like communication or whatever. Like obviously super should be specific then, but yeah, that's kind of the only the main reason why I'm saying all of this. Okay, so we keep this in mind, and maybe we can like you said about the communication thing. The problem, obviously, you're not communicating in English, right? Or and when you play.
Most of it's in Arabic, but we can try it first English if you want.
Nah, like
It's
I think
possible.
no, like I think just play in a way that you're comfortable on. You just have to then, I guess, like cut this a little bit, right? Because I cannot understand you, or you just have to like tell
We
me.
tell you what we said.
Yeah, I mean, you just can tell me like what you like if there is something that you feel like you want to work on more, because like the communication is obviously like mostly just comes down to, okay, like you have a plan, right? And what do you need for this? Like, doesn't matter if it's a fight plan, doesn't matter if it's like a small thing. Like if a tracer wants to attack the Ana, then it would be always great for the tracer to say it. So maybe we can help each other and do it together and be more effective. That's mostly what it comes down to. And obviously I cannot know if you do it, but it is like really helpful to talk about it before, and also because it also reduces frustration, right? If we know our tracer wants to attack the Ana, but we all 5 do something else, then maybe and our tracer then expects to get help, but she doesn't. Obviously, this is not nice. So if we already say, hey, I don't know, we're doing this thing, and then tracer decides, okay, I go to the Ana alone. Tracer goes on Ana alone. Then he should know, yeah, okay, it's a one-on-one basically, or I'm alone. I don't get any help from my team. So basically, he will also maybe not play super all in and will keep his recall to survive instead, because he knows he doesn't get help. Okay, great. Then you already said, like one quick question for the tournament. Do you know the format of the tournament? Like, is it like what kind of games do you play? Is it best of 5, best of 3? Does it change?
So far we have no idea, but I think probably it will be best of 5.
All the games?
What do you mean?
I
Like
mean,
all
like
the games?
is it like
Yeah,
is
it's
it
league. It's league. So yeah, you play against all the teams, the best of 5, and
okay?
the map choices is open. You can pick whatever you want, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe we started the Pacific, like Lijiang map, always. I think so, and then the loser team pick.
Okay. I mean, that's obviously like super important then, right? Because if we actually like best of 5, so we have like tops, or we like have top 5 games. So King of the Hill is the most important game mode basically, right? Because it will always be like King of the Hill, then the other map types, and then it will be again King of the Hill. And the King of the Hill is also a map decider. Like, do you remember when like Shock, like last year when Shock won the Overwatch League, they were, I think, winning all the times all the King of the Hill maps, and they only I think won one other type. So and they still got it, and they were champion. Like, right? If we win this year, if we win this one, we are fine with losing this and with losing this. We just need to win one out of those 3 because we will win this one again. If we really,
Exactly. Yeah, I can see your point.
yeah, if we're really good at King of the Hill. And if you already know that this is Li Jiang, I mean, obviously, the moment you know we should only practice this, we can even specifically work more on this one map. So yeah. Okay. Perfect. Then how do we go from here? How many scrims do you have a week?
I think 3, either 3 or 2.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what do you think? Let's just delete this here. We have this obviously in the back. Actually, I can just we'll just delete it. What do you guys think is like right now, kind of, in your opinion, the biggest problem, or like what are things that we can work on? What are things that are not perfect yet?
In my opinion, I still see our communication. It should be on the next level, but it's still hard since we're not used to it.
And what exactly do you mean? Like, can you make it more specific?
Like I said, We don't usually out-track and give fight plans and
Mm-hmm.
uh, like the normal communication in any
Okay.
team. Like we usually just keep talking and laugh and say jokes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's something I'll keep trying to improve. And another thing is our Farah's 6-man dive is not the best. So that's why we're gonna try to force Echo Dive or Echo Hit Scan and Sigma and stuff.
Oh, you say
But
you're
yeah,
not playing against this 6-man dive is not good, or do you say that you want to play the 6-man dive?
we tried to play 6-man dive with Farah, but still we're not good at it.
Okay, but you want
So,
to? You want to
yeah,
practice it?
yeah, later on we will.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's all. And yeah, nothing else since we have no idea about what maps we're gonna play and some information is about the tournament.
Okay.
So we just practice to get better, and we expect anything at the tournament.
Yeah. What does the others say?
What?
What do the others say? Khalifa, for example.
Also, yeah, can we do? Yeah, we do callouts in simple way. يا قلت له يا ميسو بس ميسو يبغاها نكست ليفل يعني يبغاها كوميونيكيشن زي الكونتندرز زي ما كنت انا اسوي لكم زمان زي ما انا كنت ابغى الكلاود زمان بس ما تزبط فقلت له ان احنا نخليها as simple as we can. يبا هذا اللي قلت له.
Nobody else knows something that we can improve?
يا في شيء تبغون نحسن في سكريماتنا اي شيء حرفيا اختياراتنا في الكوم شخصياتنا لعبنا بلاي ستايل اي شيء
فوكس تارجت
هذه كلها communication like target calling is part of the communication.
Okay, target calls. Anything else that you think like doesn't have to be about comms, can be like everything.
I think we should practice 2 off tanks since we have hug. Okay, that's me, so our main tank.
Okay.
So yeah, basically our composition and what we pick. So as I told you, we play our or we pick our not randomly, but it depends every single scrim and which team we're scrimming against.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're scrimming against 6-man dive Pharaoh and tricks, we either like do the 6-man dive with Echo, or we just go Sigma, Diva, and Ash, Echo. Like it depends what we feel like we can win with. So we have we don't have a straight plan when it comes to picking comps.
Mm-hmm.
Like every single scrim, and we just say what we want to play against the enemy team. Like we see what they have or what names on the enemy team, and we say they're gonna play this and that, and we do this and that.
So, but you have a plan then?
Yeah, of course. We're not playing randomly at all.
Yeah. Okay. So you have a plan. All right. And you want to practice playing 2 off tanks, is what you said.
Yep.
Okay.
Since we know it's gonna pop off on the Saudi league.
Okay.
And yeah, I think we just wanna understand more how our comp work. Like if we know how it works, even on couple maps, it's we're gonna know how to force it on all the other maps, since we know the like our main.
Yeah, I understand you.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Okay, great. And the others have nothing to add? Kura and LOL?
Yep. Kara, Miso, Khalifa, باقي شيء
It's
تبغوا؟
okay if not, right? Like, don't want to force you.
Yeah,
But...
exactly. اذا عندكم شيء تضيفوه ولا شيء تقولوه انه احنا سيئين فيه وبنحسنه قولوا. اللي عنده شيء. So yep,
Okay.
I think that's what I said.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess, right, like this is obviously like a big thing. Like this doesn't like working on communication does not like we don't need one scrum to make it better, right? We need more than one scrum. It's like a big. 6-man dive with Farah, I would say is a middle long. I think if we play it like 2-3 scrums, I think we should be fine with it, right? I think the 2 off tanks, I mean, it's a little bit of a question mark, but I would maybe say it's like, you know, I guess a small to mid. I think if we have like, let's say 1 scrim or maybe 2, we can get a hang of it, like how it works, right? And then the like how to play comps, generally speaking, is always also more as a, I would say like a middle thing that I don't know, like if we play the comp here and there, we have like, you know, we talk about it and then we also play it like 2-3 scrims. I think it should be fine. Do you agree?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think then, you know, we have 4 weeks now, and obviously we want to at the end of this, like at the end of the 4 weeks, what we want to do is we want here check. We want to have check here, check, and check. We want everything to be on the best. So I think what we should do then is, let's say this week, work on the communication as our main goal. Does this make sense?
Yep.
Do the others also? Hey, do the others? I mean, do the others also agree with this? That because of this reason that we started focusing on our comms primarily this next days?
Don't think they're gonna
Okay.
totally agree with this. Yeah, as I told you, we're not like too organized when it comes to communication. We have our own way to communicate, and we still know how to manage to win the fight in a good way. Like we don't waste ults and we don't like do stupid plans.
I know. I just mostly ask this kind of questions so that I don't want that anybody here sits there, right, and thinks like, oh, they never asked me, or like, oh, I never get a voice. So that's why I asked things.
Yo, good.
Yeah, perfect.
Right now, Farah is not in the main comp.
This is the main comp here, the Farah? Mm-hmm.
No, without Farah.
No. Without the Farah.
Our main comp is Echo instead of Farah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
يب بس خليفة احنا مو نبي نلعب ايكو اول شيء بعدين نحاول نلعب فرح ولا هذه مو الخطة الحين؟
لا الخطة الحين شو اسمه our plan right now is Hog and maybe Diva and hit scan or tracer depend and Echo Ana Mercy like this. Sometimes we switch Ana with Lucio maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically our comp.
Yeah.
ايش قاعد تسوون ذا؟
11 نسوي زي
ريفيو؟
هذه السيشن زي الجلسة يعني نتعلم كيف حنتحسن فيها في الاسابيع الجايه بدل ما ندخل السكريم وفود ريفيو ونسوي اللي نسويه. قاعدين نحاول نرتب الامور فاهم؟
طيب
الاسبوع الاول ايش نبغى نحسن، الاسبوع الثاني ايش نحسن زي كذا.
بس هذا كيف باقي الشباب كيف يحفظونه؟ مو موجود.
الفود قاعد يتصور. ثوري ريكوردينج ذا سيشن رايت؟
I'm recording, yes.
يب قاعد يصور في يوتيوب والشباب يحضروه وبعدين احنا اصلا نتكلم بيننا وبين بعض ايش صار وايش ما صار وزي كذا.
تمام حلو.
كل واحد وظرفه ايش نسوي. حاولت الم الشباب استنيتهم بس قالوا لي اللي عنده ظروف زي كذا ما قدر يجي.
تمام ما هو مشكلة.
طيب sorry Thor, keep going.
Okay. Never mind. So fine, perfect. Then let's talk about like the communication, or like, you know, like a little bit, and see how we can get better at this. When are your next scrims? Or do you scrim today?
No scrims today. I think we're gonna our next scrim is gonna be on Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
Yeah. And we're gonna try to look for an Arab team.
Yeah.
You want Arab or something else?
No,
Like you
Arab,
want to see our gameplay against Arab or against Rush or 6-man dive?
yeah, I don't really mind. Like, I don't care, especially because it's, like we said, we want to work on our communication. I don't really think it matters too much against who we play, because we are practicing for us. We're not. I don't think like the goal should not be too much on the what do we play. It should be more like the how do we communicate next scrum. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, great. Maybe one word about this. Like you say, like the focus and the jokes. Jet, you said that this is a problem for you, right? Do you like, or do you think that is? Do you think that is a problem for our scrims?
No, really, since like we keep managing to win the fight.
Okay.
So yeah, we just keep having fun.
Yeah.
Like if something funny happened, we just laugh and.
I mean,
Like
that's
you know what happens with scrims.
yeah. I mean, that's obviously amazing. That's also how it should be. It is just, from my experience, it's always important, right, that we still have a certain amount of focus, so that we're not like trolling around or anything, or that we're not like getting too funny. That we always have in our mind, okay, like we're playing a scrim, on Saturday. Saturday scrim. We have this 2 hours, and what's the goal of this 2 hours? Is now we set communication. So I want to hear ult tracking, I want to hear fight plan every fight, for example. Right? And if we still then make jokes and have fun, it's completely fine as long as we do these things. And the target call, what you said. Right?
Yes, so basically those are the three main things in communication.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And these are the three main things we need, like this is kind of the goal for next scrim. Like next scrim, like when we play, you can just like show them this again, guys. Hey, remember today we want to have every fight ult tracking, every fight plan, and every fight target calls. It doesn't really matter so much if we do it correctly. Like the quality of it doesn't matter. Like I don't care if this plan is good or bad, as long as we have a plan, right? Because the quality gets better the more we play, the better this plan gets. Or the more we ult track, the better our ult tracking gets. It's just important that we do it. So do you want to? I would like to talk maybe a little bit about or give you an example a little bit about this communication style. I know you don't like, you do it your own, and you don't have to like make it like super specific. We keep it really simple with the communication. But I want to show you an example of how it can sound like in a team. Okay.
Yeah.
This is like an older scrum.
Close and flexibility.
Yeah, it's an older scrum. It's, I think, I don't know, a year ago or so. Like the compositions are completely super old. But
Oh my god, no shield.
yeah,
Kenji
like
Metal.
it is really really old. But I think the communication is still nice. So
Yeah, communications never change.
yeah, exactly. How about before I show you this example, how about we quickly talk about like what do we do? Just real quick. Like, right, if we're winning a fight, like we win. Oh, that's me. I just do this. If we win a fight, what is the first thing that we want to talk about?
Ult track.
Or
If we were up 2 or 3, that means we win the fight. So we start ult tracking before we clear.
Yeah. Who is like? Do you have somebody who is like mainly doing it or responsible for this for ult tracking? You.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, exactly. Chat. Okay. Ult tracking. And Jet is responsible. Like what I always think, like why I'm writing here Jet means that you are responsible for it. So you have just two tasks. You have the only thing you need to do, number one, is to ask the question, what ults do they have? Like I'm not expecting you to know everything, but I want that you bring up the topic. That you say what, like, guys, what ults do they have? Do they have graph? Do they have this? I want that you ask this question. This is like this is the one task. And then the second task is you make a decision. I don't even know how to write it.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's fine. That's fine.
Isn't it like this? Decision? No. Okay. make it wrong.
Just a little bit.
You make a decision. Basically, if if I don't know, Khalifa says they have graph, and Kura says they don't have graph, then it's you who decides, right? You have the crown here. You're the king, and you make a decision. It doesn't matter if you're wrong or if you're right, but it's so much important. We only have like between each fight, between one fight and the other, we have 15 seconds in average 15 seconds, and we do not have time to discuss about this. So if Khalifa says they have graph and you and Kura says they don't have graph, and you say they have graph, or like I just assume they have graph, we go with it. It doesn't matter if it's wrong or right. That's the thing, and this is the only thing you have to do. So ask the question like what ults, and making a decision. Are you okay with this? Do you understand, or like do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what comes after the ult tracking?
Fight plan.
A fight plan, yeah. And what do we need to know in a fight plan? Like, what is a simple fight plan? Like, I don't know. Do you have some examples, or what informations do we need in a fight plan?
For me, I feel like the best fight plan is like tell the kill box like where we want to dive or where we want to kill our targets, and give our ult management what we want to use. We either flex high noon or like non hog with whole hog or non far or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And our setup.
Keep going.
Yep. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Only 3 main points for me.
Yeah, and I think there's one more. It's not like it's what we use, like ultimates, cooldowns, or whatever. Where, like the kill zone, for example. And I think it's also the when. Like, do we go really early? Do we wait until they use trance? Do we wait until we have this? Do we, jump in right away? Basically, I think these are just the 3 questions. So let's make some example, right? We have Graph Dragon. So the plan could be, hey guys, or like, yeah, the plan could be like, hey guys, I want to use Graph Dragon. Graph versus Dragon. So now the where and the when, obviously, like, who knows best where to graph? I mean, the Zarya, right? So let's say if somebody makes a fight plan, say let's use Graph Dragon, I want the Zarya to say where. Like, and then Zarya can say, yeah, we graph at the choke, when right where they come out, right? This could be an idea, a plan. So somebody says what we do. Hey, we do Graph Dragon, and then the Zarya says, okay, we graph right at the corner when they're coming out. Or we have, or the fight plan is we use, I don't know, Flux and Echo Copy. Then I want the Sigma to say where and when will he use Flux. Will you say, okay, we use Flux at the point, or we use the Flux in rotation, and so on. Does this make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. I hope this is understandable also from the others. Who mostly does the fight planning for you? Do you have somebody who is responsible?
Not really. The way we like give plans is whoever has ult, he should say how he wants to use it. Like,
Perfect.
Let's just say like we have only one ult and it's beats, and the enemy team have like 2 or 3 ults. So it's my decision. Since I'm the Lucy player, I say if we hard engage with beats, or we just play slow and play safe and kite with beats if they engage with their ults, or there's no way we can win with beats, so we just save it and we try to stall point, or we just feed the ults. So yeah, I think that's the best way we can do plans.
I'm fine with this. Then whoever has ult says it, right? So that, but also means on Saturday, right? On Saturday, if we have Flux, I want the Sigma to say what he wants to do it, right? The Sigma needs to say then where and when. Not the Tracer, not the Lucio, the Sigma, because he has the Flux. Okay? Like this could be, this is then this is mainly our goal for Saturday. Like these 2 things here is mainly our goal for Saturday. Saturday scrim. Okay. There are also some extra things. I don't know. Like I don't know if you're interested in this. That are more. There's a little bit of a concept on how to form a fight plan. If you want, I can explain more, but I don't think it is necessary. Like yeah, we also want to keep it simple.
Yeah, we try to keep it simple.
Yeah, so what comes afterwards, again, I will also just say it. I don't think it is super important, but normally the next thing is the setup. So the question is, right, like think about like mecha base, you know, like Busan mecha base, you have this one door and you have this other door here. Like this is like the high ground here and this choke. Now you have this choke. You know, come back to the plan, like, hey, we use Graph Dragon. Like yeah, we say, hey, we use Graph Dragon and we use it at the choke and we use it when they go out. This is our plan. But now we need to know, like, do we stay here or do we stay here, right? So basically, or like, how do we make a rotation? Do we go out, like if we're attacking, do we go out this way and then we go like this to point, or do we go like this to point? Like this is basically the question here is the setup. You know, like it's like how do we walk? How do we where do we position? Yeah, this is something you want to talk about afterwards. Oops. And then the other thing, the last thing, is scouting, because you want to know, like, you know, coming back to this mecha base, one door, the other door. Let's say we stay here as 6, all 6 of us, and now we scout that, like, hey, they are walking the right way. And obviously, we need to change our setup. So basically, this can go like this. Oops. And there we have to make another setup. Does this make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Again, I don't want. I think you know, if this is a problem, we can talk about this another time. I just want to mention it. And then obviously is the fight. Hopefully we win it. And if we keep winning and make this like this whole circle here all the time, then we snowball, which is really great because we keep winning and winning and winning and winning. Okay, great. Let's listen to an example. Okay. Where is it? Here. Okay. What I want you guys to focus on right now is, can you hear the ult tracking? Can you hear the plan? Do you understand the what, where, and when? And then maybe do you also listen, like if there's something, do they talk about like where they play? Right? Like this is what I want you to focus on. Okay? Does everybody understand?
Yep.
Okay. I have to change the window so you can also hear it. Okay, you should hear something now.
Genshin now.
Can you hear it?
Yep. we
Okay.
can.
Then let's listen to it.
Adam, call if you need help, right? So
They have Bob, Blade, Rally, Flux.
can we just hold close and flux blade into them like really fast before they even can do anything?
I think we're better for Flux Rally.
Keep snap. Yeah, flux rally, whatever, just any combo.
Yeah, we
Going
push
closer.
under them with Rally then.
Yeah, I'm pushing payload. You guys
Holding
are
the
close.
stairs
Like,
to where they're coming.
I think the bottom,
Left
the
side,
bottom.
left side.
Go now.
I'm on.
Okay, and then it starts. Right, I think you can pretty nicely hear the things.
Genshin now.
Adam, call if you need help, right? So
They have Bob, Blade, Rally, Flux.
So, alright, we win the fight. The first thing is ults.
can we just hold close and flux blade into them like really fast before they even can do anything?
I think we're better for Flux Rally.
Keep snap. Yeah, flux rally, whatever, just any combo.
Yeah, we
Going
push
closer.
under.
Now we had like a plan, and the plan was like just a what, right? We just said like what? It was flux and rally. And now the question is like the where do we do it? You know, where and when? And we said, I think the brick said afterwards, like the brigadier here said, let's use rally when they push out. Like when they push out, we flux and we push under them with rally, right? So we have also this like check, and when. Also check. Right? Like, do you all of us hear this?
We're gonna start doing it.
Yeah,
on
but you
Saturdays.
but you hear this this example, right?
Yeah, we
Okay.
did.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
pretty clear.
Yeah, great. And then obviously, yeah, the setup and so on. Like, I don't know if you can listen to it.
Them with Rally then.
Yeah, I'm pushing payload. You got
Holding the
close.
stairs
Like-
so we know where they're
Okay.
coming.
I think
Left.
Like pushing payload, holding stairs. It is not super important. We can, if you want later on, we can focus on this. And then also the scouting, like where they're coming from. Then they say like left, 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 right? So we scout them, and then so basically here, set up, check, scout, check, and then just fight.
Bundle,
Side,
bundle.
side.
Go now, go now, go now.
I'm on.
It's everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And we used like flags, and we used rally. Okay.